All right, I'm here with two-time Olympian, current national team member, Ben Provisor. Ben, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Just training my butt off still, getting ready for whenever the trials are announced to wrestle. You know.
So you've made some pretty big changes recently in your scenery and where you're training. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I'm moving on to most likely coaching next year, and I'm probably going to fight. So I'm just looked for opportunity in the Pennsylvania area. I bought a house recently. I actually bought an old church that I'm renovating into a home, and luckily I got a job offer through Bucknell, and I got a possibility here to help them build their program better and to help the next generation of wrestlers, and then at least have income while I'm starting my fighting career.
So Greco guy, you can still coach folk style though?
Yeah, I think hand fighting is pretty universal, and I think at the college level, I think if you can hand fight really well, you can stay in matches pretty much with anyone. And college is all about is a controlled sport, and if I can control you in a hand fight, obviously I'm helping out a lot of the bigger guys, that maybe hand fight a little more than the guys than the smaller guys that shoot a lot, but I'm just there to help them with whatever they need, hand fighting, getting in shape, diet, pretty much anything that I've learned over the past 10 years to make them better athletes and better people.
What do you think is the most exciting part about this transition?
I'm just, I've been coaching honestly since I was 13 years old. I used to do private lessons with Dennis Hall, my hometown coach, and I would coach in his club in order to get free private lessons from him. So I would coach for 4 hours, almost, 3-4 times a week since I was 13. And I've been lucky enough. I had that club in my hometown, and I'm just really looking forward to giving back to the sport that has, made me a two-time Olympian and made me, gave me this great path in life where I pretty much haven't had a job. So I feel like, I have a lot to give to other people, and I feel like if I don't, share my blessings with other people, I'd be holding back. So I'm just excited to, work with guys for 4 or 5 years and see what type of athletes we can make at Bucknell.
So you are going for your third Olympic team. This is your last go round. Do you find that there's any added pressure that comes with that?
I think I'm really, focused on giving my best every day. You hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you're good. You froze for a second. You're good now.
Okay. Well, I'm just, trying to make best every day. I'm trying to have no regrets. It's sort of like my senior year in high school. I worked my butt off to try to make everything come true and try to be a state champ. Even though that didn't work out, I was able to, get through it because I knew I worked my hardest. So I'm just trying to work my hardest every single day, focus on my diet and get good sleep and, not leave one stone unturned for my last go around.
So you're coming down from 87, where you've been the past couple of years. You made a world team at that weight. It's an Olympic weight. Why did you make the decision to come back down to 77?
Well, honestly, luckily when I was at Penn State for my 2 years, I got hooked up with a great diet. And every time that I would really go on to that diet, my weight would go below 87 kilos. So then I would come off of it. I'd be like, oh, well, obviously I don't need to be on the diet. But every time I came off of it, my body would feel slower. I'd feel sluggish. So this time I just truly committed to staying on this diet. And the weight honestly fell off really easily. I mean, the last few weeks I've been weighing, 175 after practice. I'm only 5 pounds over. And I know for a fact I can go and get in the sauna and finish that weight cut and be ready to wrestle again. It was more just what I felt God was telling me to do. So I just listened to what he said, and I know it's the right thing for me.
Yeah. So is it difficult right now for you to Because it does sound like it takes a lot of effort for you to maintain that diet and stay around where you need to be. So with the trials postponed indefinitely for the moment, is it tough to kind of just say, all right, I need to make sure I don't fluctuate and stay in that range?
Most definitely. I mean, when I initially heard that trials are postponed, I think it was Friday. I weighed 176 after practice, and I was like, "Oh, well, it's postponed." So I had like 2 dinners. I went and had ice cream and had some candy, and but then again, because I ate that food, my body felt sluggish. I felt slow. So once I felt that, I was like, "Oh, hey, come on, Ben, you got to stay on it." And like you said, we don't really know when the trials are going to truly happen. So I didn't want to get in a situation where, I gained just in a day and a half, I gained 10 pounds. So it's super easy for me to blow up and gain that weight again. But now I got back on my diet. I was 178 today. So, I had a time there, when I hurt my rib for nationals, I was weighing the same thing, about 180, but then I hurt my rib. I couldn't wrestle, so I got a little depressed, and I got off my diet for about 3 weeks. Um, Sorry, Linlin was calling me. I'll have to call him back. But but yeah, I gained almost 20 pounds, and it took in those 3 weeks, and it took me almost 2 months for me to get back to the point, where I was before. So I just know that I can't give myself, a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks off, because there's no way I'd be able to make weight.
So how are you staying positive during this, pretty crazy time?
Well, I know, I think God is going to get us through this whole situation, even though, uh, I mean, right now it's pretty much the world's canceled, right? There's no sports, there's no events going on, nobody wants to go outside the house. I'm just trying to keep with my routine as far as my, my diet, my lifestyle. I'm not trying to change that too much, even though a lot of people, even though it has changed as far as me working out in sheds and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to do what I can to continually be ready for my sport. And it's uncertain times, but I'm not gonna let this COVID-19 or coronavirus stop me from what I feel God put me on this earth to do.
Do you have any good workout recommendations for young wrestlers that are itching to get to practice, but obviously can't at the moment?
Well, if you guys have an Aerodyne, I've been on Aerodynes and spinner bikes for the last few years to get my weight down. If you guys have those available, I mean, circuits are always great. You can do a lot of stuff with a jump rope. You can do, I do an hour cardio pretty much every Tuesday and Friday, where I jump rope for 10 minutes, get on that bike for 30, and then jump rope for another 20. So, I mean, really, I'm just trying to. I got a bad knee, so I can't really run too much. If you like running, I do like running. If you could run outside, I mean, get fresh air. I think that's the best possible way to try to stay in shape. And obviously, if it's warm somewhere, get out in the grass and wrestle. If you don't have availability to, wrestle on the mat.
Cool. What about in your free time? What are you doing to stay busy and not kind of go crazy in quarantine?
Well, I like to go fishing. Pretty much try to go catch some brown trout so I can put those in the freezer. That's a big thing I do, and hopefully around the Lewisburg area, I can start finding some buddies to fish with and some new spots. So, and then also I play a little Fortnite with a bunch of my buddies and just sort of hang out. I also have to do a lot of meal prep. I actually never cooked before in my life, but I really do enjoy doing that. So I try to, you know, I have to meal prep for about 2 days at a time when I'm away from my house. So that takes a few hours out of my day, when I'm at home, and I actually do really enjoy doing that. So,
What's your best meal prep dish so far?
well, my daughter would say it's my beets. I'm pretty good at roasting beets, and even though beets don't taste great, they're great for you. Um, and when you char them a little bit, that earthy taste gets out of them. But I don't know. I'm pretty good at all. I think my vegetables are my best, but it's really the oven that does all the work. I just season them, throw them in the oven, roast them, and that's about all I do. Yesterday I made some scallops and Brussels sprouts, and then I also prepped some salmon, beets, and vegetables. I mean, honestly, I didn't know how much I'd like roasted garlic before I actually roasted some garlic. I mean, probably don't want to smell my breath after I eat during the day, but yeah, I definitely like roasted garlic. That's probably my favorite.
Right on. All right, Ben. Well, thanks for taking some time and talking to us. It's good to hear you're doing well, and I look forward to seeing you at the trials.
Sounds good, my man. We'll see you there.
Yeah.